Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Dun, dun, dun. I gotta say, guys, you YouTubers, I was pretty impressed. Half the time, I expect you YouTubers just to downvote these videos and give me snarky comments and stuff. But I put a challenge out yesterday and asked if if anybody's actually listening, and whether you would like me to give you a little tell that I was telling the paying subscribers the other day. And actually, we talked about a little bit today too. How we would know whether this crypto bull is really a bull or not, or whether this is just more back and forth in a range. So, I guess it's probably not fair of me to say, sorry, I'm not going to say anything. I mean, I was pretty darn impressed. Like 40, 50 people are all like, yep, we want to know, we want to know. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I asked you to give me feedback. You gave me feedback. So let's start off this with just why is it I actually would have the audaciousness to make a statement like that yesterday. Of course, I have been following this market very, very closely for like 5 years now. And I do believe that there is a very cyclic nature, not only to stock traders and stock trading, but also to cryptocurrency. I think there's a lot of similarities here. So in essence, this sort of the big tell that I was mentioning yesterday is really just a conversation about market structure, and are there any tells that if we have price action do certain things, then actually that's inherently bullish. I don't know whether I talked to you guys in the public about this upcoming Silk Road auction. There's another one coming up here. I don't know whether I've maybe I write no here. Oh, I guess not. But we put the date here right on the chart. It's supposed to be the 18th of February. And I guess what I'm thinking here is hopefully when you look at this chart, you see a lot of similarities here, especially if you like zoom in. Something along those lines, eh? I mean, hopefully you can see a very similar type of price action here. And I remember distinctly when this happened. This was a nice FU against these lows, and the market went down. It busted these lows, and everybody's like, "Oh, bear, bear, bear!" And then all of a sudden, everything just stopped. Then we went sideways. We started to W, and woohoo, big rally. I noticed the same sort of thing here. We were wondering, this was a higher time frame, 61.8. And the market came down, and we were kind of like, can we believe this? Can we believe this? Nope. There was one more dump. But what was interesting is when we hit this level, basically everything just stopped. And then the market W's, and away we go. So I've seen a lot of similarities. And also, too, this is following a pretty big drop in the market with a nice consolidation and then start the next leg higher. So, if we zoom out here, gee whiz, we happen to see almost an identical chart. The only difference here was this rally, this move here actually was this move here, whereas here we just went straight up, right? We didn't have this back and forth. So what's the tell? The tell is, in my opinion, I think it's pretty simple. I remember specifically watching this price action very, very closely. Interestingly enough, this rally peak was to a 61.8 fib of this range here. That's 61.8 doink. So we knew that there was going to be sellers that would come into the marketplace right at Mountain Man level. Not a big surprise. But more importantly, and this is what I consider the tell, more importantly, it's not so much this action that we actually want to study. What we really want to study is the reaction. And it's this move that we actually want to pay attention to. So you guys have heard me talking at length recently about Wycovian checks, right? Breakout, come back, test the high, resume. Breakout, come back, test the high, resume. Breakout, come back, test the high, resume. That's basically the Wycovian process. This is off a very short time frame. Can you see the same logic here? Breakout, come back, test the original breakout, resume. So my hunch here is, ironically enough, what's happening right here, I think, is like the buy the rumor kind of event. And what we really need to do, and what we really want to see if we are bulls, and like I said, the tell, is we're going to follow where exactly this blow off top is. And like I said, I'm thinking sort of in this area. And most importantly, it's not so much what we do here that's important, it's actually what we do on the other side. Now, you've heard me talk lots recently about things like big fractals and my expectations of price. Notice that this fractal, horizontal support and resistance, if you think big head and shoulders, notice how it comes right down into this reload zone, consolidates, and then turns back up. I mean, who knows if this is exactly how it's going to happen. All this is a market symmetry study. But the point here is, and you guys are all like, what's the secret? What's the secret? What's the secret? It's in my humble opinion that the secret, the tell as to whether this is actually a bull and we're ready for a new sort of crypto bull market, is how do we act over here. So I don't know whether that was a big tease for you, whether that was, Brian, well, that doesn't help me. But that's what I was thinking yesterday, and that's basically what I've been telling the site here. And of course, if we do get this very typical sort of mountain man, Wycovian check pullback here, and we stop, and here was the key, right? Remember I showed you on the rally how mountain man stopped the rally, bang. The key here is, let's watch how mountain man acts here. And in essence, this was actually the tell that this is indeed a bull. So that's what the tell is for me. The irony of it all is we won't really see that for probably about a month or so. But if I was going to be watching something to tell me if this actually really is a bull or not, it's this event following this upcoming auction that I think is really the tell. So I don't know whether that was a big tease or not, but in essence, that's the message I was trying to convey. All right, let's head on over, do a quick little market summary for you guys, send you on your way. We've talked recently a little bit about this. U.S. dollar index is enjoying a really nice little counter trend rally. We're now coming up against previous key highs. This, of course, was around that Fed announcement. But also, too, what I would say is, and I've been saying this repeatedly of late, I am extremely bearish of the euro. I was kind of hoping, coming out of Brexit events and all that. Where the hell is that damn chart? I was kind of hoping that we might see some further continuation out of things like British pounds. You can see the bot setup trying to come in here. And now we're breaking to new lows. So that doesn't look good. Doesn't look bullish. I was kind of hoping it would be like sell the rumor, buy the news, everything's fine in the UK. Mr. Johnson's come out and recently said, nope, whole bunch more uncertainty. So get used to what we just went through for the past few years. And I think the British people themselves are like, oh, fuck off. And I think they've had enough of this. But anyway, long and short of it here, I don't have any reason to buy British pounds now. And then more importantly, Britain now, unfortunately, and all the British people are not going to like this, but I actually believe the unwinding of the British Empire, Britain in itself is going to become a smaller player in the world stage. It'd be interesting sort of side proxy on Europe, but really what I think is going on here, and I think it's the biggest problem now, is Euro itself. Um, I was talking bearish bots and stuff. We had, stop, move, stop to scratch. So I hopped off through this. And then recently, and keep in mind, the fundamental picture, the rhetoric out of Europe, I think is horrible economic situation. And then to add insult to injury, and this is really bad. Somebody over there in Europe, please poke this woman. You cannot go into the market and say statements like this. Because in essence, basically she's saying, well, don't own the euro. We don't know what the fuck's going on. We're running out of options. If you were holding euros and she says something like this, we're running out of room to fight global threats, whatever the hell that is. Depleted monetary ammunition? What are you talking about? These guys got printing presses. Are you telling me you're running out of paper? You telling me you're running out of ink? Come on. And the weird part about central bankers is the market will literally listen to them. And she's just basically saying, there's no reason to be long euros. And then what was really interesting, and I've told you guys this before, please learn this. Somebody write this damn shit down. Every time a new not even Fed, central bank, right? In the United States, they hate the term central bank, so they use this term Fed. It's basically the same thing. But anytime a country has a new central banker, a new governor, the market is going to test them. And this is not what central bankers should be saying. They should be saying everything's calm. We're on top of the situation. We have a plan. Even if they don't have a plan, they should say, we are good leaders, yada, yada, yada. This kind of talk. And you look at the euro chart. Nobody should look at this euro chart and be surprised to see the euro melting down here. And of course, all our level oneers, they just learned about this very powerful topping pattern called a head and shoulders. Following this, now we've got new bots that are firing. I haven't really been looking at trades recently, but you guys have heard the message from me of late. I'm actually a US dollar bull now for the next 17 and a half years, which of course is going to drive all you guys crazy. I don't even think anybody watching these videos even remembers what a US dollar bull market even looks like. So that's going to take some time for all these crypto enthusiasts to get used to what does an actual US dollar bull market look like. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. The point of the matter here is, oh boy, I'm not a fan of Europe right now, and it doesn't surprise me to see the US dollar ratcheting higher here. And ironically enough, I'd actually make the argument over a longer term basis. You should actually get used to the US dollar moving higher here, not lower. Risk on, risk off. We've talked lots about this recently. Oil is coming down into a very typical bottoming window here. We've also hit a big fat round number, $50. AB equals CDs have hit them levels, so it really shouldn't surprise us to see some sort of bottom trying to come in on oil here. And look at the stock market. It's actually gone to new highs. I tell you can't write better fiction than reality. Coronavirus? What the fuck's that? We did have Julian on Thursdays. He does his beta bee powder report. I think he makes a very valid argument that, half of central China is basically ghost town right now. I do see that there are people like that Zero Hedge guy is really trying to stoke the fire and really try to freak people out, biological warfare, blah, blah, blah. Also saw some other reports. Julian mentioned that there was a 10 cent down in China. Was it accident? I don't know. You can't trust any of these people. And you cannot trust a totalitarian dictatorship. I don't care what anybody says. Freedom of speech and being able to honestly speak the truth is an incredibly valuable commodity in this world, and basically that doesn't exist in China. So be careful believing anything you see out of them. But I saw this really funny, not funny, I don't know, shocking, whatever you call it. 10 Cent accidentally put out a number reporting, I think it was something like 150,000 cases of the coronavirus and like 20,000 people dead in China from it. And then they quickly went and changed it. Now, did they screw up? and they just had to correct their typo, or were they politely told by dear leaders that you are not allowed to tell the truth, and you are going to be murdered if you leave that number up there? I'll leave that for you to decide, but I will say don't trust totalitarian dictatorships. Ironically enough, you know what? The only thing that you can actually trust is price action, because no matter how much of a totalitarian dictator you are, you can't change price action. So we'll see how it goes, and I'm sure there's lots of people are going to be like, oh, I have a problem with that statement, but nonetheless. So stock market's moving higher, and into 2020, believe it or not, I'm actually expecting the stock market to move much, much higher. So get ready for that. Mr. Trump's basically dodged another bullet. Think back to Ronald Reagan days. The first term that he was in office in the early 80s, the Democrats in Congress tried desperately to get him to kick him out of office, and he got the nickname in the 1984 election, the Teflon president. I don't know whether you guys remember that or not. And I got a funny feeling that's exactly what's going to happen with this Mr. Trump guy. Now the Democrats have shot their wad. They don't have any more ammunition, and he's basically got probably a few months here of he literally can't do anything wrong. Which is scary because, we all know his character. And if he could take advantage of that situation, I think he might. So, but that's, more sort of Brian opinion bullshit. Anyway, long and short of it here, I do like the idea of risk coming back into the market. This is actually a really great example on the bond market of a 5-bar fractal. You don't get those every day. You can see the 3-bar, boom, 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 that would get me thinking short. And now we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, and that was confirmed. Now, we are getting a bit of a counter trend rally, so maybe this was a bit of a head fake, tough to say. It is nice to see that the gold is hanging in, and like I said yesterday, of the risk assets, I think the gold is a risk-off assets. I think the gold has acted the best through here. Also, Jupiter-Saturn crosses and all that kind of fun stuff. The Fed is still injecting tons and tons of new money into the money market to prop up the short-term interest rate market. So as long as the Fed's got the printing press going, the gold bugs, I think they'll still have a case to be made. And I think, as we said yesterday, this was even here, this was a new closing high. Well, I guess they stay here. So at best, we have sort of the left-hand part of the M forming. Maybe this is the middle part. It's interesting how gold didn't fractal out the way that the bonds did. And as I had said earlier, Japanese yen just looks like a train wreck right now. Again, sort of that commentary of money flying into the US dollar right now. I mean, the way that I look at that, I don't see any reason why the yen can't be down here pretty soon. So we'll see. We've got a huge battle level coming up here on yen. If you see it below this 90.90 area here, get ready for further downside. And of course, no reason to be a buyer here for me. I definitely could understand the pit traders coming in, taking shots off the bottom here. If you are a gunslinger, maybe wait for some sort of signs of a reversal in here. But, if you are going to be a step in and be a buyer, as soon as we break those lows, you better get the hell out of there. And I could understand, if you drill down to, like, say, an hourly chart, I could understand some slick traders, mountain mans of the world and stuff coming in and actually buying these lows and risking to a break of these lows. Now, let's see what happens. I wouldn't do it. It's not a trade I like, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So that's your risk on, risk off kind of conversation this morning. I always like to give you different names and ideas and different, so when we look at the stock market, sort of different market caps. It was really cool to see Sjord's technical analysis engine, his screening system spat up this Irobot the other day. Hopefully everybody can see the big W. They came back down, test the lows, ran the noob stop. And look at the day she's having here today. Up $9.50 for a big blue chip stock like this. Obviously earnings driven. But it's just great to see. What a great analogy of higher highs and higher lows defines a bull market. So there's money to be made on the big cap stocks. You know, like I said, I think the signal that we got came in like on this day here off of this little bottom. So, you know, there's nothing really out of the ordinary going on here. Just try and hunt your W's. And like I said, we've got our little signaling screening system running on the site. And it's still in beta, but I'm building out little screeners that I used to use in the stock market. This is like our, this would be a very simple sort of like what we call a Davo setup on the site. And you can see, I mean, gee whiz, lots and lots of names to choose on. And I thought it was interesting because the other day we had 2 Tuesdays, we have our options club meeting in the evenings. And we had a bunch of transport stocks that all looked, they all were popping up on the on our screeners. And notice, Southwest Airlines, Union Pacific. I was surprised to see that we're even seeing transport names coming up on this short-term screening system as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And actually one name that I might even actually go buy today that's a transport related name is this YRC. You can see we've got a pretty small risk window here. You know, if we do come in, I'm going to simply risk to a break of this bottom here. And 50% levels are sitting up here. So, you know, we're not a bad little risk window to consider. And you can see these are Lufthansa we were looking at. We were looking at American Airlines. We were looking at this Freight Car of America. And you know, this little YRC. So there are some really interesting little transport names out there right now. You know, off topic, but Irobot happened to be a name that came up on Sjord's screening system. I showed you there the other day. And you can see, I mean, don't go and buy it now. Smaller cap stocks, I thought this was kind of interesting. This isn't a name that has performed. I mean, I can show you. Okay, Brian, show me a name where you're actually making some money. Actually, I don't even have it right in front of me. Where is it? Oh, because it popped yesterday, so it's backing off today. But we had a stock that went zooming up. I think it was ADRO, but I don't think I have the screen on here. You know what? We'll leave that for another day. Anyway, point of the matter here is this was a name that I picked up here recently. Hopefully you can see the W's. Remember, guys, this isn't rocket science what I do here. I just try and buy against lows and sell on 50% retracements. So that guy's just bumping along. There's an example of one that's just sort of just sitting there. And then here's one. This one is in the blockchain space. So you can see I gave you a big cap stock, gave you a medium cap stock, and a really small. And then gave you just an absolute micro piece of crap. But what was really interesting about this one, and we're seeing, whoops, I didn't want to do that. And we're seeing this a lot on the venture cap side. This is a cryptocurrency related stock. Whoa, what a surprise. And you see that, oh, look at this. We've come down, bottom, W, breakout. And I think it actually was on some half decent volume. I think I can't remember. Where do I have that? There is that SCKT. You can see good looking chart, but that BITK, I think it is. There it is. Yeah, some half decent volume. Good 40, 50,000 shares today. So, you know, take it as it is. All right, so let's just finish this off. Actually, you know what? I gotta take a 30-minute break. Or a 30-second break. I'll be right back. Don't you hate when you're right in the middle of a video and somebody knocks on your door? Sorry about that, everybody. All right, I hope that wasn't 30 seconds, and who knows how long this video is. It's probably wicked long, but I'm having fun here today, so who cares? All right, so Irobot, nice little W. Maybe work a bid down at the bottom end of the range. Like I said, Sjord told us to get interested over here, so not a bad level. SCKT, this is Socket Mobile. Interesting little stock. You know, I mean, if she goes and W's out here, then you probably missed the move. But, I mean, you could chase it if you wanted to. Buy that W. I bought this W here. So we'll see how she does. And then, like I said, if you want to play the junior market, the absolute venture cap piece of poos, it really shouldn't surprise anybody that when you zoom out on this chart, you go, why would Brian be interested in buying this? And what's so cool about this one is that's a cute little W that just came in. You know, Brian, he loves his W's. So, caveat emptor. Not telling you what to buy. I'm not recommending. I'm telling you what I'm long. So there it is. All right. That's stocks. As I said, had a great report from Julian today. Baby powder report. The basic message, I think, out of the baby powder report is, hey, crypto is pointing up. Don't short. If you are long off the bottom, maybe pay yourself a little bit for your hard work. I think on balance, I would have to agree with all of those statements. Show me a new high and I'll show you a buy. You know, Wyckoff climbing the wall of worry. We made a new high here this morning, so looking good. And I think as I sort of said there a few minutes ago, I actually really like the idea now we actually have a catalyst. So 18th of February is that U.S. Marshal Office's auctioning of, I think it's something like 400, or I think it's 4,000. I don't know. I can't remember what the number is. A heck of a lot of Bitcoins. And, you know, even the U.S. Marshal's offices themselves would like to get the highest price possible for Bitcoin. So in a weird sort of way, is this sort of the dog wagging the tail, or is it the tail wagging the dog? Price might be encouraged to move up here. And also, too, remember this, right? When that U.S. Marshal Office auction news event hits, that's going to be an event that's going to bring the public sort of back into the market. They're going to open up their newspapers and go, hey, remember that Bitcoin thing? Oh, yeah, they're doing another auction. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that thing. So the question you have to ask yourself is, okay, if all those new public people are going to be sort of reintroduced to Bitcoin, are the people that run Bitcoin and run the market-making services and stuff, are they going to sell those Bitcoins to the public at cheap prices? Or are they going to bid them up a little bit? And this is just capitalism 101, guys. I would make the argument that knowing that these kind of fundamental events, and of course we got halvening coming up, the smart money basically was, you know, especially after the W, but my hunch is the smart money was loading up on this 61.8 tag all through here. Remember we talked about this at length? What an important level. And they will be shilling to the public on that sort of very public announcement event date. But the thing is that's a week or two away. Over the next couple of weeks, can you have some fun making money on the long side in this market? Absolutely. I also was cautioning the site people today, too, that I've seen this happen in this space quite a bit over the past few years, is it's almost like it's a tug of war, where money goes in, maybe it goes into Bitcoin. Bitcoin just does its thing. Hey, look at me, I'm just doing my thing. And then, you know, shiny object, you look out of the corner of your eye and you see something like, you know, this NIM, just as an example, right? While Bitcoin's moving up 10, 15%, this goddamn thing is, like doubled, maybe even tripled. And, you know, and look at this. I mean, there's tons of them, right? Remember this, the ADA, we were looking at this one a while ago. I mean, just the most textbook bottom, and boom, there it goes. So at some point, and, you know, just think of just really simple human psychology. A lot of people that, you know, okay, I went and bought my Bitcoins, right? They're going to go and buy some altcoins because, hey, they want to make some money, right? And then what ends up happening is you get these sort of big face rips, right? And unfortunately, the public comes in and buys the top. Oh, boy, that's not very smart. And how do you clean these kind of markets up so that they can get ready for another leg? Well, there's got to be some back and forth, like this pullback here, or, this pullback here. And in those kind of scenarios, Bitcoin outperforms. So it goes, it's almost like the alts rally, and then Bitcoin goes, hey, wait, what the hell are you kids doing? Hey, I'm the bull here. And then it takes another leg up. And then we go back and forth and back and forth. So, rule number one, of course, don't chase. Rule number two, make damn sure you have profit target levels in mind. And when those profit target levels are hit, you better pay yourself. It's a good idea to have open orders working at levels and just get your fills and be happy. Today, I wanted to show you one. Here's one that I've been squawking about at length. And none of you can say that this thing didn't even give you an opportunity to get in. Because all through... excuse me. All through basically the past month or so, this thing just politely worked its way right back down into reload zones. Beautiful little inside bar reversals off the original double bottom, and woohoo! But also, too, look at this. Great example where you better have your open orders working at your levels and ring that register, because this might be it for this rally. I don't think it is, because when you look at this thing and you zoom out a little bit, does this thing have any room to run at all? I think there's a lot of room here, but nothing ever moves in a straight line. So we might actually have like a week where this thing backs up as Bitcoin is moving higher. So just understand, don't chase. I think it's a good idea, to be perfectly honest with you, that you actually, if you're thinking about investing in this space, you just look at your names versus USD. Now, the problem here, of course, is a lot of these are like calculated by TradingView or calculator. So you can't really trade off of this information, but what you really want to see is, can I see W's coming in here, right? Look at this one here, Algo Rand. It's literally sitting right there. You cannot tell me you can't buy this W. Now, I don't know whether you want to do this. Is this in your trading plan? Have you done the fundamental research? Does this meet your criteria of what a setup looks like? I'm just going to simply say, yeah, what do you think Brian's doing here? Rinse and repeat. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just simply doing what I know that works a good 60-70% of the time. So on that note, I think I will bid you all adieu. I gave you my super secret. I don't know whether you guys actually consider this a valuable information, but I tell you, this is exactly what I'm going to be watching for. And if this is really a bull, we should see 8,000 traded back to. And if this scenario plays out the way that I think it does, of course, it's just a big if, but I would consider this probably the buying opportunity of quite a long time, should this play out the way that I think it's going to play out. But hey, only time will tell, and of course that's just Brian's opinion. Alright guys, have yourselves a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the little mid-break there. I just, that kind of shocked me hearing somebody at my front door. What the hell's going on? And of course I couldn't tell them to go away, so alright. So have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.